What's up, guys? This is Daniel from iApologia.com, where science, reason, and Christianity meet. Today I want to do another podcast where we'll be talking about one of the articles I did before. And so if you would like to follow along, that'd be great. We'll be reading through it, and then we'd have a discussion afterwards. If you want to leave a comment below, that'd be awesome. Tell me what you think. Tell me some additions, your thoughts. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. The more you interact with these videos, the better it will do on the different platform lists. So that would be very helpful. So without further ado, let's jump into this article and let's see what we have here. 10 Christian beliefs that ignited the scientific revolution. There are at least 3 subject areas that societies around the globe and throughout history have excelled at: mathematics, philosophy, and technology. I can think examples of indigenous Central, South Americans, various Asian populations in the Greco-Roman world. As breathtaking as these may be, each of these subjects are very natural for human achievement and advancement. We count, we think, we make. None are being minimized, but none of these are our crowning achievements. Something much more complex and successful would take that title: Western civilization. Without Western civilization, you would most likely be a slave or a serf. Without Western civilization, you would have less rights and justice. Without Western civilization, you would most likely be living in abject poverty. Without Western civilization, you would not have free market capitalism, nor would the industrial revolution. Without Western civilization, you would have no university. Without Western civilization, superstition would reign. Without Western civilization, there would be no science. We take for granted the progress of Western civilizations and natural institutions, the promotion of freedom, reason, the free market system, and the scientific method. I'm not being bombastic, but here's a twist. Western civilization started only once in history, and only one place in the world: medieval Christian Europe. Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson correctly claims, and I paraphrase, the Bible is central to Western culture and is the central document to Western culture. Simply put, without Jesus, we would never have our Bible, and without our Bible, we would never have Western civilization, and without Western civilization, we would never have science. No God, no science. Or no God, no science. Just depends how you read it here. Christian medieval Europe has the perfect utopia for science. Brilliant European Christians led the fight against superstition and irrationality, by promoting reason, progress, and the biblical worldview. Many fields of science must thank Christians for being their progenitors. Here are just a few of them. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole list of these. If you want to go through these, you can. But we think of like Joseph Lister with antiseptic surgery, Louis Pasteur, and Isaac Newton, Johannes Kepler, Robert Boyle. We can go on and on. All these guys, and some of these are overlaps because some of these scientists actually started a couple of fields or a number of fields. Check out this list. This is just partial list, by the way. And if you go to my website, which is down below, I have a link down below in the description. Check out this website, my website, which will link to the list that I give and the sources and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. It's just amazing. All these huge sections of the scientific enterprise were started by Christians. Let's jump into the 10 Commandments of science next. Before scientists can do science, however, they have to believe certain non-scientific ideas. One has to assume such things as order in nature, uniformity in nature, value of hard work, truth, progress, freedom, ethics, and the promotion of progress. Some ancient civilizations may have held to some, but not others. However, Judeo-Christian worldview held all. This is not to say philosophy, technological advancements, and mathematical progress of other cultures did not help. Yes, the Greeks, the Romans, the Chinese, and the Mohammedans contributed too, but they never started the scientific enterprise because their overall beliefs stymied such progress. Ultimately, the essential factor was Christianity, assumptions and presuppositions, period. Below are 10 foundational Christian worldview beliefs that helped ground science. Number 1. We assume we have rational and reasonable minds. This is very important. We need more than just rational minds to study the universe. We also have to assume that our minds are rational. The Christian worldview asserts that we are created by a rational God with a rational mind. God is presented in the Bible as logical, this essence of logic. John uses the Greek word logos, the same root as logic, to describe Jesus. Jesus would point out logical fallacies such as a false dichotomy and would make logical arguments. Since it teaches we are created in his image, we must have rational minds. Thus, we can think God's thoughts after him, looking at the wonders of his creation. Plus, not only was Jesus rational, but Paul was a first-rate philosopher being trained by the best Pharisaical philosophers. Paul's writings contain many logical arguments. For example, his argument in 1 Corinthians 15 concerning the resurrection and Christianity. Contrast this to Islam. Allah is unknowable and capricious. If true, why would we expect rationality in Islam? Materialists also fail. While they now claim to be the rational ones, they have no grounding. Undirected and naturalistic processes in a tooth and claw world doesn't seem to create rational beings. 2. We assume the universe is knowable, rational, and accessible. What a historically novel idea, a knowable and accessible nature. The early fathers of science not only assumed that they could study and understand God's creation, but that nature was rationally created. Creation must be somewhat knowable and rational, since the Creator is knowable and rational. This came from the Bible, which teaches that we can know and understand God, at least to some extent. However, if your God is unknowable, why would its creation be knowable? If you did not believe that there was a definite, understandable order of nature, as some of the Chinese seem to have thought, why study it? Point number 3. We assume ethics and morality. Truth, ethics, and morality are foundational in the Christian worldview. Thus, you need to be honest and follow truth. Science is designed to force the researcher to follow truth wherever it leads, even though it may not always be successful. Thus, honesty, credit, peer review, critique, and experiment replication are essential in the scientific world. Contrariwise, within a materialistic framework, ethics and morality are subjective. Darwinian ethics can't explain intent and motive in morality, only actions in a subjective way. Nor can it tell us that we are supposed to do right in the future. Sure, doing right may help us survive and pass on our genes here and now. That should be here. But nothing constrains us to do this in the future. There is no grounding for morality and truthfulness. 4. We assume a cause and effect world. We don't think our world is arbitrary. Rather, we think we live in a cause and effect world, nor do we think that events in the natural world have some sort of metaphysical cause, such as sound making sound spirits when trees fall. Rather, the trees themselves somehow cause the sound. Creation is also not pantheistic, nor filled with nature spirits, or gods who will cause things to randomly happen. Also, since the gods or spirits are not part of nature, is not taboo to study nature. Some Native Americans, however, thought nature was embodied with spirits. For example, survivalist Tom Brown Jr., raised by a Native American grandfather, still teaches you should ask a plant forgiveness before harvesting. Why would you study nature if you had to destroy your plant or animal brother or sister? Point number 5. We assume both naturalistic and mental causes. Science only advances when we follow the evidence. What if the evidence leads to a supernatural cause? Modern science rejects such answer because it assumes naturalism. However, the first scientists did not have this problem. They set out with a scientific method to understand nature's laws and follow the evidence. They were theists who robustly eschewed a metaphysical naturalism. Their openness to agent causative events, however, did not stymie their findings. Rather, it more than likely helped pave the way for other study that assumed great causations like SETI, anthropology, archaeology, information science, and forensics. Actual artificially mandating naturalism slows scientific progress. Outlawing the answer of number 4 may sound intellectual, but But if this is done, 2 plus 2 will always yield the wrong answer. The 20th century's failure to provide a naturalistic explanation of the origin of life is a prime example. Researchers hit the proverbial brick wall, some with the origin of the universe. Assuming things popped into existence without a cause is irrational. Some supernatural outside our universe cause seems to be the most rational answer. The evidence loudly points to a creator, not naturalism. Item number 6, we assume a linear view of time. Science is based off the assumption that time is linear. The universe has a beginning and will have an end. Biblical ideas assume progress from creation to judgment day, Genesis to Revelation. One can't but help think of passages like, "Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last, and besides me there is no God." Or, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. However, a cyclical view of time, or an endless repeating cyclical universe, gives us no help to science. Consider ancient cultures such as many Native Americans and Eastern societies. They assumed a wheel of time. Time was cyclical, consisting of repeating ages that happen to every being. The 7th point. We assume uniformity in nature. This is really important. Science only works if there is regularity and uniformity in nature, but we can only seek for it if we assume that's how nature works. The fathers of science assumed that God's nature was orderly and regular, not capricious. Thus, his creation would have regularity and order. They read things like Jesus Christ the same yesterday and today and forever. And thus saith the Lord, if I have not established my covenant with day and night and the fixed order of heaven and earth. If this was true, they should be able to find laws that could be counted upon, and they could discover regular patterns in nature. In other words, God was the creator and lawgiver, and man can discover these laws. They assumed that forces of nature were usually reliable and will not change much from year to year, day to day, and minute to minute. This is why the law of gravity and light are the same wherever you are in the world. It also explains why there are structural and genetic homology in biology. Without uniformity in nature, the assumption of its existence, we could not make hypotheses and predictions and then test them. In the naturalistic worldview, there is no reason to think that uniformity in nature even exists. Why would a universe that came about through chance, random natural processes, explosions, mutations, etc., have uniformity? In addition, philosopher David Hume pointed out the problem of induction. Scientists assume uniformity in nature because the past shows uniformity, but this is circular. Thus, it can never be proven. This means that the conclusions of science must be taken on faith. So there is no adequate grounds to assume uniformity in nature unless you assume God grounds order, as I do. Islam struggles to teaching Allah is capricious. If so, his creation must also be capricious because Allah wills this or that to happen randomly. Why assume uniformity in nature? Polytheistic religions don't help either. Many gods fight over how the universe should be made, thus you get a mixed up disaster with no uniformity. Item number 8. We assume the need for experimentation. Intuition is good and useful, but not powerful enough to understand our complex world. It needs to be augmented with observation and experimentation for more accurately understanding the world. The reason why is that the Christian God is assumed to be a free agent to create as he wills. In addition, his ways and his thoughts are above ours. As fallen humans, we also have a limited understanding, and our thinking may not always understand how God's creation works. Because of this, we need investigation to confirm or falsify our ideas. This is why the ancient Greeks never started science. They assumed intelligence, thought, and their first principles would be sufficient to understand and explain the workings of the world. While this may be true at one level, examination and experimentation is also required for many concepts. Chinese also had some aborted attempts at science, but their philosophy and tranquility stagnated the enterprise. 9th point. We assume nature is real. Strange as it may sound, the belief that nature is real is not just abstract. real and not just abstract is essential. If you don't think that nature is real or that you can really interact with it, why study it? In Christianity, God is real, and he really created a real universe. On the other hand, some Eastern thought viewed nature as being more or less of an illusion and unreal. This stagnated the scientific advancements. And the last and 10th idea is, we assume nature has value and worthy of study. As a whole, our contemporary culture assumes that nature has value and we should study it. We want to know the truth about it so we can live better and take better care of nature. The Christian concept thought that nature had value and worth since it's God's creation. Thus, our time is well spent understanding the works of God's hands. It was viewed as a good gift from God, and science would bring him glory. We would also give the dominion mandate. We were also given the dominion mandate from God, and God saw that everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. It goes on, and God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living creature upon the earth." In Eastern thought, however, if nature is unreality and inferior to us, it is not worthy of our time to study. Native Americans thought nature contained spirits, thus taboo to study. The Roman elite thought hard work was for the slaves, thus study of the world would be beneath one's dignity. Conclusion. Science, as noted above, along with freedom from slavery, free market capitalism, advanced technology, the Industrial Revolution, and the university systems were all born out of Western civilization, grounded on the Christian worldview. This was not arbitrary, nor was it just a natural flow of human endeavors. Rather, these progressive ideas were really grounded upon Christian assumptions. Christians assumed things such as the orderly universe, uniformity in nature, the value of hard work, the promotion of truth, progress was good, freedom was essential, and ethics were important. While some ancient civilizations may have believed some of these, it was only the Judeo-Christian worldview that held to all of these, propagating the scientific revolution. So that's the end. Feel free to jump on board. Tell me what you think. Either comment on this video or jump to the link and comment on this post if you would like as well. It'd be great to discuss things with you or just hear your thoughts. If you like this video, please like this. Please share it with your friends and family. Please share it on social media, especially since post-election of 2020, there has been a huge explosion on people on various social media accounts. I'm on many of them. I'm not on all of them, but I'm on many of the social media accounts that many of you are on. So definitely connect with me. This includes Gab, MeWe, Parlay. Obviously Facebook and Twitter. I'm on other places as well, and I'll try to maybe even link to them down below, or you can at least find some of them online on either my Facebook page, or you can find them on my website as well. Definitely jump on there, connect with me, but share these articles, share these videos like crazy if you would, please. Do follow this channel. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. The more the better. With that, I want to encourage you with one last point, and that is go out and give your world Christ.